Hello and welcome to Feral Reviews. Today we're looking at the SH Figuarts Bardock, Father of Goku. And quick look at the packaging. You can see very nice pose on the front. This is displaying one of the other options that you can have him without the scouter, but I will get to that shortly once we open it. Quick look at the back. Few different pictures showing the different display options, different accessories that he comes with. Again, we'll go through that in depth. So without further ado, let's have a play. Okay, so having him out of the packaging, this guy is pretty impressive. They've definitely gone to extra lengths for this particular figure, and I think because it was such a huge want for a lot of the fans of the series for a very long time. I mean, a lot of people have been asking for Bardock for, pretty much since the line's inception. And they haven't disappointed. Personally, I would have liked a darker shade of green on the armor panels here, but I can live with that. The skin tones are very nice, very matte colors. It's different from the other releases that they've done. So, particular characters like Vegeta and Goku, the skin tones are very different. It looks like there's a little bit of the highlighted definition there, so it does make him stand out a lot. I'm not without my gripes though. There are certain engineering aspects that I just don't understand why they went with that particular thing, but we'll get to that shortly. Now, as you'd expect, let's just have a look quickly. You can see from the back, very nice sculpting and detailing all the way throughout this figure. This is another thing that was a bit annoying. So the tail area, this isn't detachable. However, there is a lot of movement. You can see it can move away from from the base of the tail, and it slides in. I guess that's just for mobility, but you cannot separate these two pieces. So this just stays on. I know that it's something you didn't really see him in the the TV special or the one that come afterwards as well. You didn't really see him any other way than with it wrapped around him, unless he was in a Zaro form. But I still would have liked the option to be able to remove it or display him with a different tail option. Minor gripe. I'm not that angry at it. Before we get into articulation, let's just have a look at some accessories. Now, this guy comes with quite a bit. He comes with a blast effect. Very nice shade of blue. Kind of frosts at the end. I imagine once you get some light through that, it will look amazing. And for that, they've done something a little different than what they usually do. So it's been very frustrating with the Figuarts lines when they do include effects. Most of the times, I know for me personally, you have to have Tamashii stands or any particular stand to be able to display them with it. With this particular one, now I know it's not a huge step, but for something like this, it's a good idea. They come with a dedicated hand with a slot in it, and that's simple as you just put these two together, and that's that. Very cool. Going to be an awesome accessory for toy photography, especially to recreate some of those awesome poses from or iconic scenes from the TV movie special. Very cool. You get two of these kind of spread out hands, or key blast hands, if you want to call them that. Very cool. And two grappling hands, kind of what you'd expect to see from this line at this point. That's it for the hands, plus the two fists that come on the figure. In terms of faces, now this is where it starts to get weird, but we'll go into it shortly. So you'll get one stoic expression. Very cool. You will notice that he has one ear. Just one. Let me just get this to focus. Yep, one ear. And there's a reason for that. You can display him without the scouter, but they have chosen to do it in a very weird way. But the details on the faces are absolutely fantastic. They've got the scar. There is enough of a difference for him to stand apart from Goku while looking like he is related to him. he also comes with a grimacing face, one of the nicer ones it comes with, and a shouting face. Very cool. He comes with a separate hairpiece. The reason for this and the very difference is this little side part right here. Right there. These two parts here are different because this is the hairpiece you would use to display him without the scouter. Now when you bring him closer, you will see that those two pieces are very different. They're swept across to allow room for the scouter. So when you compare that to this one, you can see there's just a bit of a difference there. And this is the other face he comes with, his smiling face. This is the one I'm going to be displaying him with. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I think it's the best expression that we get with this figure. Few more accessories. You get a plug-in ear. This is going to be a bit difficult to show you, so bear with me here. I'm already going to drop it. A plug-in ear. Now, this is the thing that I have the most issue with. The problem with that is simple. I'll show you. So bear with me. So what we want to do is we want to remove his scouter. So it simply just plugs off. There's a little port in the back of the head there and in his actual faceplate. Let's remove the hairpiece. Plug this one in. Okay, pretty much the same as you can see, except he's got that weird missing thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this ear off camera because I don't really fancy trying to plug that finicky little thing in while struggling. So bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so there are easier ways to plug that earpiece in. You've got to remove the faceplate, attach it to the faceplate, and then attach everything in after that. So I made that harder than it had to be. So my issue with it is if you turn it around, you can see that the ear is part of the molded face, so there's no seam lines. Then you get round here. That's my problem with it. And no matter how you do that, there's always that seam line, and it just bugs me. I don't understand why they wouldn't have just done the exact same thing that they did with Scouter Vegeta. They had a separate hairpiece which had a little, groove in it to be able to fit the Scouter in over the ear. Granted, it wasn't the best fitting connection, but it looked clean. And you didn't have a very tiny earpiece that created a seam line that breaks up the sculpt like that. It's pretty unsightly from certain angles. I mean, straight on, it's not bad. But that's, I don't get it. There should have been at least, it should have been the same system as Scouter Vegeta, or at least give us 2 faceplates or something with the ear already molded on. I just don't understand the reasoning behind this. It really wouldn't have. I can't even excuse it. So I just don't get the logic behind it personally. I'm still very grateful to have the figure. I'm still very happy with it, but I just don't understand the reasoning for that. So there's that. The Scouter itself is very nice. Just what you'd expect from it. You've got the port. This port here plugs into the faceplate. This one plugs into the hair at the back. And that's pretty much it. Now just a quick look at articulation. So what you want to do, let me just remove this. Remove his... Oh God, his ear's going to fall off. You know what? His ear's not going to fall off. It's actually very secure in there. What I am going to do is just remove everything so we can have a look at the pretty much the same articulation as you'd expect. Same exact system as, Goku, Vegeta, etc. And just a quick thing, when you're swapping the faces, just lift off his bandana. Simple as. So due to the sculpting, once the faces are on there, you're going to lose a lot of this movement. It is that weird joint in there, but once his face is on, it does restrict a lot of the head movement a lot. You can get around it. Luckily, this neck joint allows for a bit more motion. Okay. The arms go up about this much. Full rotation, although very, very tight joints. Biceps get more than 90 degrees, thankfully. Sorry, elbow joint. Now, the biceps are extremely tight. So I'm not going to mess about with these too much because a friend of mine did recommend using some shock oil just to loosen those joints up, which I am going to do. We have a butterfly joint, very nice butterfly joint. So you can see, very nice. That seems to be a little bit better than some of the other ones. Good range of motion on that. Wrists are the exact same, but it will be limited, as you can see, because of this molding here on the arm wraps. This will be quite limited. Now, the chest area is interesting. There's a lot of movement here. Let me just get these arms up. A lot of movement back. Decent movement forward. What you can do is lift it. So see, that's it down, and it lifts out and up to give just a little bit more. Not that much more, but you can. Armor pieces are pretty much the same as what we've seen on Scout of Vegeta, and I can't remember who else had these, but yeah, they're just on a hinge. The tail, as I said, isn't actually connected to the back here, so it won't restrict any movement. Legs go up about that much. Will go back just a little bit. They can pretty much do the splits about this much. Knee joints, pretty good, and not so much of an unsightly joint here. Feet, same as we expect. Good, probably better ankle pivot than we've had on other ones. Decent forward and back motion, and you've got the toe pivot as well. So overall, very decent articulation. More of the same, but in some ways a little bit better than what we've had before. So let me just get this guy back into action. So bear with me here. This just doesn't want to plug in at the moment for some reason. Oh, there we go. It was just my fat fingers. Okay, so let's have a look at some size comparisons. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to do too many because you'll get the gist of it. So let's put in, we can't do a size comparison without his son. This is Bardock next to the SH Figuarts Goku Saiyan Raised on Earth. I've got the custom power pole and the face and hair piece. Gives him that bit more early Z look. I really love that addition add-on. And this is Bardock next to Vegeta. So as you can see the difference in the flesh tones, the way he's been painted. They have definitely taken care when making this particular figure. I think that they went to a lot of effort given the status of and the cult following of this particular character. And they didn't really want to make any mistakes with that because I'm sure it would have been a nightmare. Although we still would have bought it. So overall, it's one of the most anticipated figures for me personally. I'm not disappointed one bit. I'm very happy with the outcome. It's going to look great in the display, I'm really looking forward to the first form freezer that Bandai have teased. So hopefully we'll get that sooner rather than later. It would be an absolute dream to have the rest of Bardock's crew made. I doubt that's going to happen, but if we could at least get Dodoria or some of the other Freezer Force made, that would be wicked. Just to be able to recreate some of those iconic scenes from the TV special. It would be nice if Bandai would release, or maybe Demoniacal Fit, if they'll do some Super Saiyan Bardock head sculpts. I'm pretty sure I've seen some of those teased at the moment. I will look to be picking one up and displaying him with that, just for the sake of it. Okay, so guys, that was my review. I hope it was informative. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if you like it, and any comments, just leave them below and I'll try and get back to everyone individually, okay? Thank you very much and take care.